Snakes are among Earth's most formidable creatures, instilling fear with their menacing fangs and lethal prowess. Their bewildering ability to self-cannibalize is as fascinating as it is fearsome. What prompts such behavior? In this episode, we'll unravel this mystery. I'll uncover the reasons behind this serpentine phenomenon and divulge captivating details about these slithering reptiles. A word of caution for those with a snake phobia. This video might be a spine-chilling watch. The diet of snakes. The snakes, their movement, unusual jaw structure, sharp fangs, and a large number of spinal bones, from 200 to 450. Absolutely everything about them is amazing. I think I will not be wrong if I say that snakes are also some of the most dangerous and deadly animals. What creatures can become the prey of a snake? Toads, insects, lizards, small rodents, birds. Snakes usually swallow their prey whole. Moreover, they're also capable of eating their own kind. Yeah, we've heard many times that animals can be cannibals, but have you ever heard of animals eating themselves? Sounds pretty crazy, doesn't it? But it's the harsh truth. If the bites of many venomous snakes are deadly to others, how do they react to themselves? And why do they bite themselves and even eat themselves? These are some weird behaviors. Nevertheless, the phenomenon of eating one's own flesh even has an official name, autophagy. In addition to snakes, this phenomenon is exhibited by some protozoan microorganisms. In snakes, autophagy mostly occurs unconsciously and unintentionally. Why is this happening? The main explanation for self-eating in these reptiles is their complete reliance on their sense of smell for food choice. Individuals are very let down by their sense of smell, on which they rely so blindly. They lose control over themselves when they sense the scent of food. Well, that's not much of a surprise because we too can lose our heads at the sight of food. If a mouse or rat, for example, runs along the tail end and their scent is left on the reptile's scales, the snake goes into a state of intense excitement and takes itself for food. In the understanding of the snake, its own tail becomes its prey. Due to its relatively small brain, the individual cannot foresee the consequences of such an event. Therefore, eating its own tail is an unintentional action. There are two possible outcomes. The individual either gives up and spits out its tail or continues to devour its body until it's completely asphyxiated. Sometimes, self-eating is a manifestation of some brain pathology. The animal may have disadaptation and discoordination in space. It sees the real prey, pounces on it, but misses a little and hurts itself. What about venom? Will the snake be hurt by its own venom? No, it won't. Snakes are immune to their own venom. It's more likely that a snake will be hurt by an injury or bleeding. Such self-immunity applies to all snakes of the same species or even genus. For example, a viper will not die from the venom of another viper, but if it's bitten by another snake, say a black mamba, then the bite will be lethal. Here's a vivid example of self-eating. The snake clings tightly to itself, and then you can see how the man pours some liquid on its hand and runs his hand over the reptile's head and jaw, after which it abruptly releases its tail. The duration of this clip is exactly 5 minutes, 4 of which the snake is in this position. While it's good that at least it's come to its senses. It turns out that even our ancestors noticed the propensities of snakes to eat themselves. Egyptian archaeologists have found an ancient drawing of a snake or a dragon coiled up in a ring and holding its own tail in its mouth. The creature depicted in this picture is called Ouroboros and is on par with the most ancient symbols of mankind. The symbol of Ouroboros can be interpreted in different ways. The most common version is a representation of eternity and infinity. In more recent times, the Swiss psychoanalyst Carl Jung put a new meaning into the symbol of the Ouroboros. Thus, in orthodox analytical psychology, the Ouroboros archetype symbolizes darkness and self-destruction simultaneously with fertility and creativity. Now you know why snakes eat themselves, but that's not all the creepy stuff in this episode. Stay tuned for scary snake moments caught on camera, as well as interesting and fascinating facts about these reptiles. Scary snake moments. Here, a camera mounted at the entrance caught the moment a snake bit a man in the head. Notice the man calmly opens the door in his house, and a snake appears from somewhere above and immediately aims at his head in the eye area. It all happens so fast that it's impossible to realize what's happening at once. The man starts screaming loudly and runs into the house. It's like a whole new level of home security. One day, Texas resident Belinda Muniz had a visitor she didn't expect to see on her doorstep. Unfortunately, it wasn't Santa Claus or the men in black. It was a snake. The evidence of what happened is a recording from a street video camera. It turned out that a snake, which managed to climb the wall, rang the doorbell. The footage shows the reptile crawling up to the bell and pressing it with its head. It's a good time to ask, how do you feel about snakes? Have you fallen in love with them yet while watching this video? Well, if these cold-blooded creatures are not among your favorite, then stay away from this place. And if you're not indifferent to them, know that in the Canadian province of Manitoba, near the village of Narcissus, there's an infestation of garter snakes every spring. The prairies of Manitoba become a real sea of nightmarish wriggling snakes at this time. In winter, the snakes hibernate in underground caves formed by water leaching into the limestone rocks. But soon after the snow melts in late April or early May, tens of thousands of garter snakes emerge from the caves and begin wriggling to the surface, performing their mating rituals in large tangled balls. Once, a zoology professor at Oregon State University estimated that there were about 35,000 snakes in one hole. There could be over 250,000 snakes in the whole area if what happens every spring in Canada is natural. The annual event taking place in the United States is not. It's the so-called snake rodeo, a popular entertainment and sport in the southern United States, mostly in Texas. It all starts with a general hunt for wild rattlesnakes. Thousands of captured individuals are taken to the rodeo venue and stacked in special enclosures. Many of the snakes that end up there soon die under the weight of their congeners. The survivors are used in various games. At the end of the rodeo, the remaining snakes are exposed, cooked, or even simply slaughtered. It's an event where you can also buy snake skin and even buy a rattlesnake you like as a gift. Curiously enough, the event attracts tens of thousands of visitors each year. Rivals of snakes. Now let's talk a little bit about the life of these reptiles. All snakes, without exception, lead a predatory lifestyle. Apparently, there are no vegetarians among them at all. I've already mentioned that snakes mainly feed off small animals and swiftly attack their prey. But is there any animal that can attack the snake itself? This undersized beast, you might say, is obsessed with snakes, even venomous ones. It's a hedgehog. Hedgehogs can eat venomous snakes without any consequences. Yes, it's quite a peaceful animal that eats caterpillars, worms, or frogs, but it can also fight back against such predators. More often than not, hedgehogs have fights with vipers. In any case, when encountering a snake, hedgehogs will not pass up the opportunity. On the contrary, they'll demonstrate their strengths. First, they have excellent armor in the form of thorns on their back. Second, if we take the specific case of vipers, these prickly creatures are not afraid of these venomous reptiles at all. Hedgehogs have a resistance to snake venom, and they're protected from its effects by the protein called aranicin. In addition to hedgehogs, there are other contenders for the title of animals that are not afraid of snakes. For example, the honey badger, also known as a rattle. In addition to honey, from which the name comes, their diet may include snakes. I'll even say more. Snakes make up more than half the honey badger's diet. Immunity to venom is paramount to its survival. They hunt all kinds of snakes, including the most venomous, and can even be bitten that is envenomed in the process. Although snakes with strong venom can bite a honey badger more than once, the honey badger is able to kill the reptiles with ease and stay alive. The venom does it almost no harm. That's all, guys. What fact about snakes impressed you the most? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching and see you later.